The Misty Show. The Misty Show, your number one companion. The Misty Show. The Misty Show, your number one companion.
Hello, my name is Adora Stephanie Modo, and I'm the host on The Ms. D Show. The Ms. D Show has various segments, and we have what we call the Ladies' Corner and sometimes the Men's Corner. Well, today's show is going to be one of the episodes of the Ladies' Corner. We'll be talking about whether women can marry a man who doesn't have a job, a steady income, doesn't have a place of his own, a car, but has what people call potential, or like you would say, a great idea. So basically, we're going to be talking to three beautiful young ladies, asking them, would they want to marry such a man with such pedigree and, financial status, or wouldn't they? Also, we're trying to find out, if you marry a man with such a, profile, would you think he is a gold digger or not? Would you also think he might be trying to marry you because of what they call amnesty marriage in Nigeria? That pretty much means a man marrying you because of who you are, what you have, and what your parents have. So, it is a packed show. So we would like to know, would you marry such a guy? Would you date such a guy? If you would date a guy, would you end up marrying him if the potentials have not materialized? Stay tuned. Watch this show. It will be really interesting. And you can leave your comments as well on our Facebook page. You could also go on Twitter, which is at The Ms. D Show. You can go to the website, which is www.themsdshow.com. Leave a comment. We will talk about it. We might mention one of your comments on the show. And stay tuned. Keep it locked. Keep watching The Ms. D Show. Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Ms. D Show. Today, we're going to be having a Ladies' Corner segment. If you're new on the show, Ladies' Corner segment on The Ms. D Show is simply a segment where we have young ladies talk about life issues. Today, we have a very interesting question. It's been asked to a few people around, and we've got really interesting answers and comments. And however, this has real life situations which kind of have happened to a few people, and we would like to actually go in detail and talk about what really is the situation. Is it an all right situation, or do people get it mixed up, or is it just in our heads? Well, here is the question. We're asking, will you marry a man who has no job, no stable income, a place of his own? He doesn't have to own it, where he lives by himself, not in someone's house. No car, but he has great ideas. Some call it potential. He has potential. Secondly, I'd like to know, will you think such a guy is a gold digger? Trying to be with you for what he could get off you. In Nigeria today, we have something we call amnesty marriage. If you don't know what that is a situation whereby a man marries you because of who you are, what you have, or who your dad is. In Nigeria, some people would like to marry a big man's daughter because they believe that they will get settled, get a nice house if you live in Abuja, say in Maitama, in Lagos, in Ikoyi, or Lekki, or in a nice car and probably a good contract. So they just show you all the love and get married, and you see the real story. So the question is, will you marry a man who you think has potentials, but you can't see anything on ground, and he wants to marry you right now? Today in the studio, we have three young, beautiful ladies who would like to share this topic and discuss further on what they think and if they will marry such a man. On my right-hand side here is Helen Nji. She is the CEO of Zumba Fitness Nigeria. She runs Zumba classes all over Nigeria. I think she has in Lagos, Abuja, and a few more states in the country. She has a bachelor's and master's degree in chemical engineering from the New Jersey Institute of Technology. Wow, now that's a big one. And she moved back to Nigeria in 2010 and has been running Zumba since then. Right beside her is a beautiful young lady called Mitu. Mitu has BSc in civil engineering from Rutgers University in New Jersey. She has a master's in property development from the University of Portsmouth in the UK. She currently is the creative director of Ledgewood Nigerian Limited. This is a social media branding and business consulting company in Abuja. So that's another really top lady with a beautiful resume. Ouch. On my left-hand side here is Lorraine Dada. Very beautiful lady indeed. She has a BSc in finance from New York University, a master's in international relations from the University of Warwick in the UK. Currently, she is a financial analyst a writer, a contract manager within the Nigerian power sector. Now, these are three powerful young ladies in Nigeria. And I'm thinking already, with this kind of resumes, would they marry a man who hasn't got a job or a steady income? But then I'm just a Dora. What do I know? So let's hear from the beautiful ladies. I'd like to start with Helen. Helen, seriously, I mean, you've been dating this guy, say 6 months to a year. You know he lives in his friend's house, so you guys always hang out in his friend's place. If you want to spend the weekend, you have to come to your place, or, you have to pay for a hotel, because, baby, I can't afford it right now. He drives your car. Ooh. And, he just has this big, nice, fancy idea of, babe, this is all my, what I want to do. But right now, nothing has happened, and he wants to marry you. Would you marry this man in hope that, tomorrow one of those ideas will materialize?
Hello, hi everyone. Hi everybody watching. This is a tough one.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm a firm believer in potential, but you have to bring something to the table. You cannot be 35 and be living in your friend's house and driving my car and seeing me at my house. No, I'm not saying own a mansion. We all know the cost of living today, especially in Abuja, where rent is skyrocket. And owning a property is almost impossible for a guy that's not at least 40, 50 years old. If except for those that get handed down by their parents. But you have to bring something to the table. You have to, so in other words, I'm not going to date a guy that has potential but nothing else. Because some potential is never mature.
So you don't believe tomorrow it could be, they say tomorrow he's pregnant, tomorrow he could just meet a minister with that proposal and hey, bang. He's got the mansion. Then
well,
how do you feel?
That would be the one that got away. It's okay.
She says. Okay, so me too. What's your opinion on this?
Realistically speaking, no, I can't. I'm not going to mince words. Maybe if I was like 19 or 20 and he had some great ideas. But if he's like 30 plus and he has no place of his own, he's driving my car, he wants to marry me today, now, it's not going down. It's just not.
So you really don't believe tomorrow something better could happen?
Possibly. No, I would actually believe that. But realistically speaking, I don't really even see myself dating such a person. Like, I met you, you told me your feelings. I've been dating for 6 months. Potential took you nowhere,
It could take a year, it could take 2 years for potentials to materialize.
Yes, but...
So you guys, are you saying you don't believe in love?
No, I believe
what happens to love without money?
No, I believe in love. And actually, I'm going based on what I know.
Okay.
It's not gonna work out, because if something happens and we get into an argument, I won't say I'm gonna be disrespectful, but even he will feel somehow. Okay. And then he might even transfer the fact that he has nothing, he's doing my things. Mm-hmm. We're getting into a fight. And then I might be like, oh, sorry, baby, I'm going to go to work now. You're going to work? What do you mean by that? Is it because I have no job? And then, okay, it might cause issues. Right. And I don't want to just go there.
Okay, she said she doesn't want to go there. So do you want to go there? That's the question. Okay, so let's ask Lorraine what the situation is.
Okay, so the obvious answer would be no. Most women would probably not want to marry a man without a job, without a house, without any money, without anything. But then we have to look at the big picture. What's his track record? Has he always been broke and stagnant? I hope not. So maybe if he was doing really well, then, he invested in property in the States or whatever, and, he lost all his money, or he invested in bank stocks and they, all went down. What's his track record? If that's the situation, I could probably consider getting involved with him, because I know that he will bounce back. But if that's not, if he's always been broke, underemployed, or unemployed, I don't really see a future there. People always say there's no romance without finance. And it may sound really shallow or superficial, but it is true. When you're in a marriage, you need to, have money to back up or to cover the expenses that come with a relationship and marriage. So I would look at the big picture before I take a decision. But most likely, I probably won't date a guy without anything, because I know where I'm heading to.
So when you say responsibilities that come with marriage, could you give us a few examples of that?
Just children are expensive. Children are expensive nowadays. Gone are the days that people have 10 children. Children are expensive. Just owning a home is expensive. I'm sure you have to send money to your people in the village or back home. There are just a lot of expenses that come with being married.
So, the thing now is, you three young ladies are very successful in whatever you do and probably earn a good amount of money as your salaries. So you can comfortably afford to take care of yourself and, so to say, maybe your man and your kids. So why can't you still marry him if you can bankroll the family and the marriage? Or you don't believe in a woman bankrolling her home? If she loves her man?
I don't have a problem with
if
this.
there is love? If there is love,
I just think that if a woman bankrolls a marriage, she can't respect her husband.
For the meantime. What if he goes?
It will cause issues.
Everything always boils down to the fact that, you have more money than me, so you want to do this because you have more money, because I don't make enough money.
So it's the issue of a man feeling not very confident that his wife actually makes more money than him.
And
is that a Nigerian or African thing, or do
take
you
it out
think
on you in different ways?
You think it's a universal thing? A typical white man, would he have a big issue if his wife earns more than him? Do you think?
I honestly believe that it's more so with, I would say African men, but I've never lived anywhere else except for Nigeria and the US. So I would say Nigerian man. I think a white man, let me not talk for a white man, but I've seen a lot of cases where wives are like the head of the house and they have house husbands that stay home and take care of the kids, and they do really good jobs at it. But I think here, you're not just marrying the man is not just marrying you, he's marrying your whole family. So even if he doesn't say anything, his sister's going to be like, she's the one taking care of the whole house. What are you doing? Or his mom, or your mom. Here, you marry the whole family, so it's just...
What is a house
husband?
husband?
It's a cultural thing.
What do you guys call a house husband?
The husband that stays at home, he watches the house. When you get back from work, he's made dinner.
Okay.
He takes care of the kids.
So that's literally like the man wife.
Yeah, kind of.
He is a man that does
she's
the role
quite
of the
popular
wife.
in the States. There are enough men that do that.
So that's why I think it's a
dads.
Nigerian thing, because
dads.
I think in the States they have people who do that and they don't have a problem with that.
As long as the wife can respect her husband, but I feel in Africa or in Nigeria, it's hard for a woman to respect a man that does not bring finances to...
Now, that's a problem, because that brings us to another issue. Is it true now that Nigerian women are very materialistic? Because, I talk to a lot of men who say all Nigerian girls want is, buy me a new BlackBerry, buy me a new bag, it's my birthday, take me... we're all going back to that now. It's more or less like, I don't respect you because you can't afford to take care of basic stuff. What if I love you and I have hope that tomorrow you will take care of those stuff? That doesn't happen here.
Well, Nigerian girls more materialistic than like the regular average American girl. Yes.
Okay.
Because you
so
can find a girl.
Why is that? Why do you think that's the problem?
I don't know. I don't agree with that either.
I think a certain class of
Nigerian girls are
materialistic.
Right,
no, a lot of girls here are materialistic. Because in America, girls go to school, graduate college, and they're expected to work.
That's interesting.
In Nigeria, a lot of girls go to school because it's the thing to do. They don't want to ever work. I know a lot of girls, they just go to school, they go to NY, they do their NYC, but they never, they literally have a husband waiting for them right off NYC and they get married.
I don't
and you
think
can
they
find
have a husband waiting for them kind of thing.
A lot of them do. Even people but they do.
Really?
They have husbands waiting for them right off NYC, they go get married. So a lot of girls never actually had a 9 to 5.
I think it's the way they were raised. I think if a Nigerian girl, especially in Nigeria, is go to school, now you're done with school, go and get married. Kind of thing. So
it's
I
stage.
think so as a
Yeah,
stage,
it's a stage. That's
so
the next thing.
You're not taught to be like, oh hey, you get a good job, you get your own place, you do your own thing, and then when you happen to fall in love, you get married. But I don't think I would hate to think that all Nigerian girls.
Nobody
like
said
that.
all.
Well,
Nobody
the ones here, the majority
here are like that. And about your question about being materialistic, yes, I can vouch for that. Like in America, you could find a girl carrying one Louis Vuitton printed bag for years, and to her, this is my designer bag. This is all I have. But in Nigeria, you have to be on point with the latest LV bag, the latest Prada bag, because that's what people. It's really, probably when I was living in America, I wouldn't see myself going and buying like $3,000 bags or $4,000 bags. But here it's almost normal. It's
I do understand what Helen is.
yeah, it's normal.
saying.
Like people here are a lot more materialistic.
Like when we came back for NYSC, I had a basic phone. I was living in the States, and people in the States aren't really big on phones. As long as your phone rings,
I got my first BlackBerry when I moved back.
Yeah, everyone here had a
people
BlackBerry, iPhone, all
Exactly.
high-techy. So I know in Nigeria, people are very conscious
Very,
of
very
material
materialistic
things.
here.
I think Nigeria
Can't
actually makes
compare.
the highest sales in every new stuff technology that comes.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to get the
Yes.
next one. You buy a Porsche today, a Porsche 2 is out tomorrow. You
I
want to
just
get a
went to
new
the
one.
States earlier this year with a Porsche. No one knew what it was.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Like, what's
this,
that?
it boils into this is really an African Nigerian
Yeah.
mentality. Okay, people, you've heard it from the three beautiful ladies. We're going to go on a short break at the moment, and we'll be back to take more comments from our friends on Facebook, Twitter, and on the Ms. D Show websites. Stay tuned. Hello, and welcome back to the Ms. D Show. Before we went on the break, we were talking about whether a lady will marry a man who has no job, no steady income, a place of his own, a car, but he has great ideas, what we call potential. If you meet that kind of a man and he wants to marry you, would you think he's a gold digger? Would you think it's what we call amnesty marriage in Nigeria, where a man marries you for what you have or what your dad has with the hope of being settled financially? And these three beautiful young ladies we have on the show today add a few of their ideas and opinions and comments if they will. But long story cut short, none of them were willing to marry a man with potential. Now, before we get back, we would like to take a few comments by our friends on the website, which is www.themissdshow.com, and our friends on Twitter and Facebook. We have a comment from Sasha. She says, LOL, that's a funny one at amnesty marriage. I definitely would not, I don't want to starve with my kids. Anonymous said, I can marry a guy with potential as long as he has a good educational background. Also, we have one from Ine. She says, that's a tricky one. The ideal situation is that both parties are prepared mentally, financially, and otherwise for the responsibilities of marriage. In as much as it's 2013 and we now have house husbands, it's not sustainable. So she wouldn't. However, she said that it still has worked for some people, but she wouldn't want to be in the same situation. Another one from Nkem says, potential need, potential core. If he had good ideas, he will be profitable. He'll be financially stable as well. Hex, I work and continue to work hard. And hell, I am not going to let some broke idea having guy come and reap where he didn't sow. So here's the plan. He makes his money, I make mine. And we will meet each other as successful people. Okay. By the way, why is he a potential having guy looking for a babe anyway? LL, that's the reason none of his ideas are working, because he's busy chasing babes. That's
for everything.
That's a funny one from the young lady on the side. We also have one from Aninkechi. She says, I can't and I won't. Would love him, but no, not after. Okay, she said no, would love to, but not after everything I have been through. Okay, real life situation. She says, to ask for a decent guy who has more than just dreams to offer really isn't asking for too much. Well, she's not asking for too much. We have an Angie. Angie says, I could date a guy with potential, but before we get to marriage, I would like someone who has some of his potentials materializing. I could encourage him and pray with him, but he would understand that we cannot get married until he proves himself. I do not believe in amnesty marriage. Even if it isn't so, it will naturally be a doubt in my mind whether he loves me for me. I like the peace of knowing without a doubt that my husband chose me because I was his choice for a life partner, not as a meal ticket. One less thing to worry about in life. However, there are too many. And one more from Danny. Danny says, the first question, which is, would you marry someone who doesn't have all of that? Yes, I would, because it takes one great idea to change everything. Now, that's one pessimistic lady out there. Mm-hmm. She also says, I won't feel he's a gold digger unless he keeps asking and never strives to offer to help with the bills and etc. Yes, amnesty marriage does happen everywhere. But sometimes it's the fault of those of us who choose to date these guys. Because we tend to focus on the unimportant things instead of the habits and emotions and way of life. So these are some of the things we've discussed. We focus on the wrong things. I think, to be honest, some ladies actually know when someone really doesn't like you that much or really isn't into you but what you have, but we tend to ignore it. I mean, some ladies in Nigeria get to the age of 29, 30, 28, and they start thinking everyone is getting married. I've done too much ashebis and bridesmaids and I want to get married. And we tend to just want to follow whatever we find. You know, like Mitsu said, you know, life in Nigeria seems to be a stage. You go to the university, you get a degree, do your NYC, and everyone thinks it's marriage time. You should get married. Yeah. And then it puts so much pressure and people tend to just follow the wrong trend. And I mean, today you can see there's so many divorces and, you know, broken homes in less than a year or two. So, I mean, let's talk about real life situations, ladies. I mean, we said we can't date someone who doesn't have these things. But I mean, I'm going to give a real situation that's happened to one or two people I know. Mm-hmm. You meet this young guy who, I mean, he could be lucky enough to have moved back from the States or the UK like some of us. And he has these amazing ideas of what he wants to do. He wants to go into music. He wants to start producing. And he has all of that, but he doesn't have the big name. He doesn't have any fancy uncles in the ministries or all that. No one is willing to give him that opportunity or the finance to kick off these things. He starts doing menial jobs, taking, you know, 50K writing jobs and stuff. And he really loves you and wants to marry you. I mean, you know, this guy has a good background, like someone says. He has obviously great ideas, but he just hasn't got that kick. Well, he might get it, but the problem with you is you don't know when he will get it. And you don't want to help him because you don't want to look down on him. What is the real solution in that? So we're not looking at the fact that, this dude just is broke. But, you know, he might not have it, but he has something going, but not enough.
What do you mean not enough?
Like I said, he has 50K from this job, 50K from the next job, 50K from the other job. So give or take, your boo has 150K in his account at the moment. And, you know, he kind of takes you to have suya once in a while at Yahuza. You really like Chinese, but he can afford that. You want shawarma, but he gets you bole and granite. I mean, point is, he wants to always be with you and have a good time, but not the kind of expensive time you want.
Okay, sorry, can I just answer
Yes,
that?
You can.
With a man like this, I would need to believe in his idea. If it's his music, I would need to believe that he can make it. Yeah. And once I have that belief in him, I will peddle his CDs, I will push it to whoever I know. If it's a small investment, I can give him some startup capital. I won't finance his whole lifestyle, but I will help his business if I know it can go somewhere. So he has hope. I mean, that kind of guy you can date, definitely.
So this is dating, but you know we're talking about marrying. So you kind of have been dating this guy for 6 months, and you've probably done a bit of this push.
6
but
months
it just
not even really a long time.
It isn't. I'm saying, but dude wants to marry you now, so that's what we don't know.
Well,
is he really marrying you for?
Why is he pressuring me to get married in 6 months? I'll make him wait. And if it's really true love, if I say let's wait an extra year, he will wait. Yeah. You know, and hopefully his great idea would have developed in a year.
Okay, what if you want to get married now? You're one of the typical Nigerian girls who's looking at her clock like, I don't have the time.
So you're the one trapped.
You're the one who, you're not pushing him, but you really want to be married. And this dude
I cannot push such a marriage, such a person.
No, but like, that's the problem we're going through right now. We're talking about this guy. You seem to have a boyfriend, which some of the young ladies here have said, I will date him because, you know, he has potentials. I'm willing to push it. But the question is, would I marry him if he wants to get married now? Now, you are 30 and you're thinking, I want to be married in the next 6 months to 1 year. And this is the guy you're seeing at the moment. And he says, I'm not going to lose my girl, so I'm going to go ahead and propose. Asks his friend for a few thousand, gets you a ring, and says, babe, let's get married. You know he ain't got a place, but his friend is willing to house you and him for the meantime.
Do you know, we can get engaged maybe and have a long engagement. Okay. Or we can give like an ultimatum. So, okay, we've dated for, say, 6 months, which is also a bit soon. But yeah, we can get engaged, and I'll give you another 6 months. If your potential has not yet materialized, then you are not ready to be married, and you should assess your priorities.
Yeah. And I think let me speak for myself. Even if I'm at that 30-ish age, I don't feel like anyone can pressure me to get married right now. If I don't feel like that's the person or it's the time. Yeah. So to me, there's I remove that pressure from myself.
Yeah, it's also, sometimes removing the pressure from yourself, it's not easy. It depends on what kind of family you're from. Yeah. Some family members tell you every single second they get, your mom is BBing you.
Yeah, I know.
Did you find the guy yet? Yeah. You went to a wedding last Saturday. No guy there.
No, talk about it. You start dating someone 3 months, daddy's asking, so where's it going to?
Yeah, where's it going to? So that's the pressure we're talking about right here.
That's the pressure. You have to mentally fight it.
Yeah. How many people can though?
Can fight, yeah. And sometimes too, I know with the Igbo culture, their first daughters are usually like, oh, get married because you have younger, so you know. So it's with that kind of pressure, it would be a bit harder to kind of brush off, because your mother is telling how you've messed up, telling you how you've messed up her life, how you keep going for people's weddings. When am I going to my own daughter's wedding?
Well, actually, what all women need to remember is that there's life after the wedding. Now
True.
you've gotten married.
Yes,
now you
what
have a
else?
whole marriage in front of
Now
you.
what?
Now what?
Yeah.
You have to remember that. So don't just rush to get to the altar and do this big wedding when you have a lifetime to spend with somebody.
I mean, the thing is, apart from being a designer, I also do wedding planning. And I talk to a lot of couples to be. And this amnesty marriage thing seems to be something really hot in Nigeria. I mean, in Abuja, to be precise, at the moment.
Because it works for both parties, really.
Sure,
The girl
wants to get married, dude wants to get rich. I mean, and the sad thing, you beautiful young ladies are targets, I must say. I mean, because the typical young Nigerian guy is looking, oh my God, she has a BSc from the University of New Jersey. That is the one. What does her dad do? She comes from a nice mansion. She drives a nice SLK. Of course you're the target. Now you're just looking pretty and smiling, and he starts, your eyes. Oh my God, your hair. I want to take you out for dinner. You start falling. It's really easy for
what money.
Oh, they got something called packaging. That's when we talk about amnesty marriage. It comes well prepared. It's not exactly
They are the ones that spend the
most. The amnesty bit is not the broke guy. Now it's the broke guy in disguise. He is broke, but he comes with all the packages. He borrows his friend's car. He uses his friend's apartment to take you when he wants to take you home. All of that good stuff. You fall a victim. You get married 2 months down the line. Reality starts. Now, what happens? I mean, because these are things we need to educate so many young girls who are from wealthy family what to do. And the question is, how do you know a real guy from a fake guy? How do you know a guy who wants... Because, like I said, these guys come to meet me. I want you to plan my wedding, blah, blah, blah. I'm getting married to this governor's daughter. I'm getting married to this senator's daughter. And you plan the wedding, and literally a week after the wedding, you meet him in the club, and he goes like, hey, who's that hot chick you came with? Hook me up with your friend. I'm thinking, you just got married last week. There is no respect for the wife. There is no regard whatsoever. She's at home calling herself the missus and flashing a nice diamond, 18 karat gold or whatever ring. But the question really is, did she marry the right guy? Does she know what she got into? Half of the time, some of them know, but they think they can work around it. Now, how do you deal with such a situation? And how do you tell, is he for real or is he here for the money? Because so many of us don't have the patience to wait to find out.
Pray about it.
Pray about it.
Yeah, if you're religious,
Always
definitely
pray
pray
about
about it.
everything.
There's always a way when you pray about stuff, It's also,
So you all believe in prayers?
But I don't. Yeah, I'll pray about it, but I kind of like to pride myself. But I think I just know who is real and who is fake. I know when you come with the packaging, because you can't really fool me and say my friend's house. I will show up when you don't expect me to. I will do my research.
So that's one of
You're
the rules,
looking that
girl.
way. I'm looking
Show
this
up
way.
when he doesn't invite you.
That's stalkerish.
I want to believe I'm not. Yeah, stalker. Yeah.
Well, but you want to get married to this guy, you gotta
I'm
have
about
to
to get
stalk.
married to you.
Oh, I don't know.
I will stalk you. If your phone doesn't have a password on it, I will look through the phone.
Really?
Yeah, I want to see things. You're about to make a huge commitment, and I want to do it once. I don't want to get married and have to do it again. I want it to be just that once. So I would wait forever if it means that. But I want to do my research. I want to know. You can't just come to my house and we're chilling at my house and you're like, oh, no. What times are usually?
And it's always good to meet their family too.
Yeah. Oh, let me tell you, if he has a lot of brothers, it's probably of no good. Because they will lie right back, they do their things together. Because the brothers also know that they're next in line for amnesty marriage. So the brothers will work with you. What does your brother do? He's into real estate. And every Abuja guy is into real estate. So that's the number one code for them. Real estate. What kind of real estate? Real estate. Everybody's into real estate.
So, I mean, the three really main rules you're giving the young ladies out there to watch out for fake or, what's not fake is what? First, you should pray about it. Second, Helen thinks you should stalk him.
No, I didn't say stalk.
Okay, don't stalk
But
him.
do your
Just
homework.
show
Do
up.
your math.
research.
Do your research in the most unconventional ways, do your research.
For how long, though? If you're one of those girls who's not very social and you don't know that many people in town, you don't club, you just met this guy from one get-together and that's all you know. And you ask, oh, I met this guy at your house the other day, the guy in the red shirt, his name is, what do you know about him? And he's probably planned it up with these people. And they say, oh, yeah, he's very good. He comes from this farm. That's all you know. The truth is you have a limited circle of people to ask. So I
There's
want you
always
to tell
internet.
us. Good. I was going to get to that. Tell us what is the advancement of people can use to do this, because a lot of people don't know. We have Android phones, we have BlackBerries, we have iPads. People don't know what to use them for.
No, really, Google some people's
The names.
names.
Most people's,
No, really.
especially in Nigeria here.
Google
You-
some
you
people. I mean,
find
I
a
Google
lot.
people, and you do find some results. You know,
A
if you go
lot,
to the school, they have a
actually.
MySpace page, and they have some questionable things on it. That gives you an idea of who they are.
Who they are.
It's just an avenue to also do some background research.
If you have BlackBerry has changed the world. Put up his
But I
picture.
really think
Who knows this dude?
girls
You'll be
need to need more
amazed.
time.
You get 10 people saying, "Oh my God, you know him too." I'm
I had
telling
that
you.
happen actually
You should.
on my friend's DP. It was I guess the guy was supposed to be her boyfriend, and she put up his picture. Oh, happy birthday, boo!
And
I go,
someone
oh,
says,
I know that dude. And she hit me like, you know him, yes, but I wouldn't say it. But I know.
You see, that's the thing. I mean, you'll be shocked on what you can find out about these people. So, I mean, ladies, I would advise this rush for marriage. I think half of the time, most of us are hurrying to the wedding and not the marriage.
Yeah.
What's the colors? What's their shabby colors? Oh my God, what the bridesmaids? What should they wear? The short dress. I mean, I'm into this business. I know the craze about the wedding. You spend $1 million, 10 million, whatever on a wedding, and the next morning you wake up and you're thinking, oh my God, am I gonna be with him? He's snoring ridiculously in the night. His leg is on your face. And you're just like, damn, how did I get here? So you need to take your time. And I mean, another problem is Nigerian parents are a bit too old fashioned. You don't want your daughter sleeping in her boyfriend's house. Take her to the movies and bring her back by 9.
Yeah.
That doesn't really help. Because
it doesn't help.
I had a friend who dated a girl for a year and they've never slept in the same house together. He lives in England. He comes for holiday and picks her, drops her off and all of that stuff. And they finally get married. And he tells me a month later, every morning I wake up, my wife has a bucket of underwears soaked. And he's like, she soaks these things for a week. It's like 5 underwears soaked. I can't stand it. And he's telling me, I don't know how to tell her. Because I feel it will embarrass her. She'll get really offended. I'm like,
But he's married to her.
yeah, he is now. But he finds, and this is her lifestyle. She just is used to take it off, toss it out, wash it later, and wash it. Habits
Just
that you've
soaks it
never
for days.
seen. And this is probably how she lives all her life. But then now this dude cannot deal with it.
Yeah.
Or you have girls
Washing
saying
machine.
he never puts the toilet sit down and he just pees all over the sea. Like, so many things you would have found
You should buy
out.
her a washing machine and say, hey, honey, put it in the washing machine. When you're ready to do laundry.
What if she packs like 10 and then puts it all together at the end of the week or something?
Yeah.
The thing is, we need to find out more things about living with people. You need to go to people's homes. I mean, I dated someone at some point, and I never knew for once that he didn't eat fish. Quite weird. And he came over to my house for a celebration. I think my dad was doing something or whatever. And I brought a plate of food for him and his friends. I had like 4 plates. And then as I was getting close, his friend said, stop there. Is that fish? He's like, walk back. Just start walking. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, just move. I was really scared. And then he came and he's like, he doesn't eat fish, right? I'm like, no. He's like, the smell can make him throw up. So you need to go really far and take that back. This is my boo for like 6 months. I don't know he doesn't eat fish. So many people don't know a lot of these things. And it leads to all sorts of irrevocable breakdown in marriages. I mean, seriously, there was this situation where a friend got married to this guy. They met 2 months ago and he was going to go to the States for a job. They posted him out. And he's like, I want to get married before I move. He proposes to his girlfriend and they get married. Next day literally a day after the wedding, he says, I'm going to get suya. And he goes out and he gets chicken, suya and stuff and roasted fish. And then he comes home and he says, oh, honey, come downstairs. The fish is here.
Yeah.
Wife, everyone. And then everyone comes down. His brother and his wife live in the same house. So they come down and everyone is digging into this nice roasted fish. And she stands at the staircase and she's just staring. And they're like, come on, eat. It's really nice. Like, I don't eat fish. And he's like, and then the wife of his brother and his brother look at him like, you don't know your wife doesn't eat fish?
Yes.
And he just goes like, oh, babes, it's nice. And then the wife said, the other one's wife was like, it really is nice. This is different from the regular. They were trying to, it's like, I will throw up. I don't eat fish. And she actually walked away and slammed the door. Like, this is the day after the wedding, So what do you say about people like that? They never got to study each other. You don't know what your wife likes. You don't know what your husband likes. You do something out of love. And, you seem to pull the wrong
These are minor
cards.
problems, though. I mean,
But
now
some
you
people
know.
can't live with it. Some people just feel like,
Yeah, like,
we're
now
just
you
not
know, I don't eat
compatible.
fish. Next
I mean,
time.
that one is little. I'm just giving examples. It could be something a bit more, oh my God, you stepped out of the house, you told me you're back in 30 minutes, it took you 5 hours, and then you start breaking each other's
But
heads.
they could be into like rituals and you don't know that. because
There's
don't
so
come to
many
their
things,
house.
especially with this amnesty thing. There's a lot out there.
And-
So, I mean, people need to be really careful.
And just like you said, like our parents are so old fashioned. They don't want you to live with dude till you're
get
married,
married,
or engaged
literally.
at least. You know, so it's like a catch-22. What are you going to do? But do what you can, eh?
But I think parents really take it easy on their daughters.
Yeah, they need to be a bit more, you know.
Yeah.
About this thing. So, I mean, you've heard it from all the beautiful ladies. There's been so many opinions and topics. I mean, you can leave some of your topics as well on www.themissdshow.com. And, you know, if you ever have any issues you think you're going through, any life situations, any situations your friends have gone through, you can always send us an email at info@missd.com or info@themissdshow.com, and we will discuss it on one of our shows. Or we'll send you emails on our topics. So, for me, Adara Wodo,
Helen Angie,
Meeting Dada.
Larry Dada.
thank you for watching, and see you again on the next episode of The Miss D Show. Stay tuned.
The Miss D Show. The Miss D Show, your number one companion.
Hi, my name is Larry Dada, and it was so nice to be on the Miss D Show. Make sure you check them out at www.themissdshow.com. Thank you.
it's been nice being on the Miss D Show. Keep it locked. Stay tuned for more.
Hi, this is Meeting Dada. Thank you, Miss D, for having me. I had a really great time. Please stay tuned. Bye.
Thank you, everyone, for watching The Miss D Show, your number one companion. Keep it locked on The Miss D Show, because you know I gotcha.